We've only had a couple days together, but how do you feel about me, Edward? Eddie? Ed?
Un poco necesito silencio.
Okay. Can I say something?
¿No puedes guardar silencio?
Sí.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Grim. Today we have another reaction of Big Ed on 90 Day The Single Life. I like to call this show Big Ed's Misadventures in Life because this dude literally just takes L's left and right. But when we last left off with him, he actually was on a rare win streak where he was finally meeting with Kaori's family. Well, not finally, it actually was quite rushed. But if anything, that is a big step for their relationship. But as we last saw, he did give some big gifts to her son, which she kind of saw as like a weird move from Ed, you know? She doesn't like materialistic things, but today we are going to continue to see how their relationship goes, and just by the preview of this, I can just already tell we are in store for some classic Big Ed cringe moments. I know last episode was a little light, but I kind of just, went through that for setup for this one because things are about to get spicy. I don't think this hot streak of Ed's is going to be continuing for much longer, let's just say that. But without any further ado, let's get right on into it. Just sit back and enjoy the cringe with me.
So how things are going with Kaori?
They're quite exciting. We've been going to dinner. We've been having a good time. And yeah, I'm feeling the romance. Yeah, I don't know how she feels about me.
Honestly, I am excited that Ed seems, really happy with this. I want things to turn out well for this man now that he seems like he's taking the correct steps to be a better person, you know what I mean? I had a lot of issues with him, especially earlier on in this series where he just seems to be a very broken person with some very bad morals, but he seems to be turning his life around, albeit a little bit late, but we can't judge anyone else's journey out there, but I will say it's good to see that he's excited. The person he's talking to on the computer right now, if you don't remember, is the person that actually linked him up with Kaori originally at the very start of this season. She's friends with her and she knows that Ed was looking for somebody, in Mexico that he could share his heritage and culture with, so that's very cool. Let's see what she has to say about their relationship though.
She really has a connection with you.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
I'm telling you, you have to take the chance, okay?
Okay,
so I have mixed feelings about this. Honestly, I think this could be her trying to nudge him into taking the relationship to the next level and maybe, trying to be more serious with Kaori, but I feel like he's already trying to be pretty serious and she kind of backs away from those talks every time they start to have a talk about the future of their relationship. She's someone who's very grounded in the present and he's a man that is stressing about the future 24/7. So that's a big, split right there in their relationship already, but I think this might actually be damaging to Ed because, he's been doing so well at holding himself back, not rushing things and being patient, and this lady almost just gave him the green light to go back to his old ways and just be super obsessive with the future of their relationship and worrying about all the wrong things. Overall, I think this might just be a misstep by the friend here. Maybe she doesn't know Ed well enough, but you cannot give someone like this those ideas that everything is good and that he should just power on through because it simply doesn't work that way. He still needs to have some patience here, and I think my man's gonna get in over his head before we know it. Yo, real quick, there's a large chunk of you guys that are not subscribed to my channel, and if you're enjoying this Big Ed saga or any part of this video so far, make sure you drop a like and subscribe so you never miss a future upload of mine. I really appreciate it, and maybe leave a comment to boost me in the algorithm. That would help out so much as well. Anyways, let's get back into the video. So they finished that talk over Skype or whatever they were using, and Ed uses that as motivation to go out to another lunch with Kaori and maybe talk about the future of their relationship and set some ground rules for where they're expecting to go. Which, I mean, yes, it's bad that Ed is rushing this, but at the same time, he doesn't want to go on this whole vacation and then get friend-zoned at the end, or what he would consider friend-zoned. Again, that doesn't really exist. That's more of a thing for people like Ed who have a very toxic mentality on relationships overall, but we won't get into that. Either way, let's hope this date goes well. We're gonna fast forward to that right now.
We've only had a couple days together, but how do you feel about me, Edward? Eddie? Ed?
Oh boy, we are starting off very not good. We got some hesitation there, and Ed's face says it all. Look at this man. That is the face of a man that has been scorned by too many lovers in his lifetime, and he knows what is ahead. He's looking down the barrel right now. He realizes what's to come. As soon as she gives that little pause and the, uncertain, yeah, that's not a good sign, Eddie, or whatever he just called himself. That was a weird introduction as well. Oh man, this dude is so awkward, but I love it. Come on, Ed, you got this, man. Stay strong and don't cry. We cannot have any tears this episode, not this early into it at least.
But when you and me talk about our relationship, I feel tiene muchas expectativas.
So at least she's being honest here. She expects some, or she feels some very high expectations, I should say. And that's I mean, expected, especially with Ed. He's a person where every time in their conversation, if he can't be spending the time complimenting her or reminiscing about the past, he's talking about the future. You know, I say this multiple times throughout this series, he doesn't have the best conversational skills, and because of that, he is not very good at being in the present and just talking about normal things and having good conversations about normal things. So maybe that is something that really stresses her out, because that would be annoying, having this dude and his TV crew come across the world to your country to, you know, meet up with you, and the entire time he's just pressuring you like, hey, so what are you thinking? We can take this seriously? We're gonna get married or anything? But at the same time, like I said, this is kind of a complex thing where I do almost feel where Ed is coming from, where he really wants to make sure that he did not waste his time and money coming over here for somebody that's just not into him. If anything, it'd be nice if she was just upfront with him and was like, yeah, I don't feel the spark anymore. I'm not sure if that's the case, but I think that's what he's trying to unearth by asking these questions, to make sure to see if it's, you know, worth his time when he goes back to continue trying to nurture this relationship. That will be very hard to figure out. I mean, I'm not sure if she exactly would want to leave her country, and he definitely would not want to leave his, so that's a big major roadblock down the road. It's just a lot to figure out for Ed.
Es decir, no puedes guardar silencio y dejar que las cosas sucedan.
I just want, for me,
Espera, un poco.
Poco, okay.
Oh my god, dude. I was not lying. That was the part I saw in the preview of this episode that I said was some classic Big Ed cringe. She literally just says, hey, can you just be quiet? Can we just chill and enjoy this like moment of us eating lunch right here? I mean, you're visiting me. This is awesome. Let's not talk about a relationship. Can we just be quiet for a second? And Ed immediately is like, well, for me, I feel like we should be in love. And she's just like, literally, just shut up, dude. She basically just politely told this man to shut his mouth so that she can just not be stressed during this lunch. This is an absolute train wreck, and I feel like this has been a bunch of stored up Big Ed energy that's just been waiting to unleash. If something is going wrong when there is this many things going right in his life, something is bound to happen, and I think we are seeing that unfold right now. This looks like the beginning of the end, if you ask me. Things are not looking very good at all.
Can I say something?
No puedes guardar silencio.
Sí.
This is so unbelievably awkward. She is just telling him for like the 5th time at this point to his face, just dude, just shut up, please. You are so annoying with this relationship stuff. Just shut up. Which I honestly think is a little bit harsh, and I think she's not meeting him halfway. I think there could be some conversation to be had about the future of their relationship, especially when, you know, for both parties, they're wasting their time and money if they continue this and there's not any real feelings. So he's trying to figure that out. He's not quite saying, you know, when are we getting married? What are we naming the kids or any of that, you know, BS that he probably is thinking about and has asked about with these previous women that he's tried to date on this show. But, you know, there's a bit of a common ground I feel like they could meet here. And if anything, she's just being super shut off. I think she's afraid of this going somewhere, and he's afraid of this not going somewhere. So they're butting heads right now. Again, this is one of those moments where I think these TLC cameramen have just nerves of steel, or they maybe just aren't as empathetic as I am with like weird, awkward emotions. I swear I feel them as powerfully as the people that are experiencing them, you know, on camera. And it's just painful to sit through this conversation right now, but I'm kind of loving it.
I want to take you to Manzanillo to see the La Playa, and Carlo, if he wants to come to.
So to deflect a little bit of the awkwardness and as a nice final, you know, moment for their trip together, or I don't know if it's final, but you know, it's winding down here. He says, let's go back to your hometown. Let's go visit the beach. You can bring your son. I'll bring my mom along. It'll just be a fun time. So that does sound like a pretty good time. She agrees, but she says, actually, technically, I'm bringing you there because I'm from there. You've never been there, but you know, semantics there. That was just her showing a little bit of attitude. I really don't know if she's just going out of her way to be rude to Ed or if I'm just reading this wrong, but I feel like she's very standoffish in this entire encounter, and that energy has not been present anywhere else in this series so far with her. So I'm not sure where this is coming from, but let's skip forward to where they're on that trip.
Creo que el alma siempre tiene la plena seguridad de lo que necesita escuchar, y es como que el espíritu, ¿sabes? Nos va moviendo, pero o sea, solamente es una cosa a la vez, vive el presente.
So that was just another, you know, proof there that she is very much about living in the present and not worrying about how things will unfold in the future and kind of just letting them happen. And, you know, much like her spirituality stuff and the whole hiking thing, I think this is just another checkup on the board of things that her and Ed are exactly opposite on, because he is someone that cannot be content with sitting in the present and enjoying a moment. He is always talking about the future. That is instantly where his brain goes, and it's where his brain resides sides pretty much 24/7, worrying about the future of, whatever relationship he's trying to nurture. So let's see if he makes the same mistake of just spending this entire fancy dinner on the beach at night in this beautiful setting, trying to talk about their relationship. And if so, I think things are going to end pretty poorly here. I could see her storming off or something.
So do you have a lot of really good memories of Manzanillo?
Good memories of
Sí.
Manzanillo.
I want to make some good memories too with you.
Okay, my man's kind of being smooth right now. That was a comment about the future, but at least it was nice and it was open-ended. It was just like, hey, we're here, we're enjoying it. I would love to make some good memories with you and your son. We can have a great time out here. And it seems that she's receptive, so maybe this dinner is not going to go as poorly as I thought.
It's only recent that I decided I want love, marriage. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit confused.
Oh man, here we go again, Ed. You literally just dropped the M word on her that quickly. You don't need to be dropping that energy when she's already been resistant to talking about the future. And here you are like, yeah, I was married 28 years ago. Just promised myself I would never love again, but I'm open to love. I struck out with a couple people in the last season, but I'm really thinking I want to get married. So I'm kind of confused. Do you not want to get married? Like, dude, clearly she doesn't want to get freaking married right now. Why are you talking about this? You are setting yourself up for just grandiose failure. It is something you're a pro at, Ed. You are literally your worst enemy. Just stop talking and enjoy your potatoes or whatever the hell you're eating, and just let this dinner not be awkward, please. I'm begging you.
I'm a little bit confused.
You are very insistent.
So she says he's insistent, and then in her interview, she's basically saying, like, the more that he talks about the future and the more that he worries about it and stresses me out, as, just by proxy, the less attracted I am to him and the less of their possibility there is of us ending up together, happily ever after. And he doesn't realize that. He is literally drawing her further away every time he opens his mouth and talks about their future and is stressing her out with these questions, like trying to set, whatever their relationship status is. Maybe you just got to be open about things and you figure out how it goes, Ed. You don't need to define every single thing, man.
No me estoy dando a entender.
So I better listen to you and I'm quiet for the rest of the night.
Oh, I'm like cowering away from my screen. Okay, I think this takes the cake so far, of this season at least, of the worst moment for Ed. That was just like a bombshell. She's like, you know what? You're not listening to me. Let me pull up the freaking Google Translate, talks into it. And it basically says like, okay, I guess I'll just shut up because you don't care about what I think about, being uncomfortable with these questions. You just keep asking them. So I'll shut up and just listen to you talk the entire night. And you can see Ed's face right here. He looks like he's down bad right now. And he is. I mean, in all honesty, this is pretty much the end of this relationship, if you ask me. Like, she has no interest in him when every single time that they're together, he's just badgering her with these questions about their future. I can see how that's stressful. Again, I think she comes off a little bit rude sometimes, but it might just be something that's lost in translation. There still is this language barrier between the two of them, so that could be affecting things. But it definitely, I think the coffin is ready for Ed here, or at least for this relationship. It's over.
Okay, so I think the restaurant
is closed.
So ya me voy.
Ya me voy. Okay, sí. Gracias.
Gracias.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Oh my dear Lord, it just keeps getting worse. So then she's like, all right, the restaurant's closed, and literally just dashes. Doesn't even ask about what the check is like. I mean, obviously Ed's picking it up, or the show's picking it up. Doesn't even leave him with a hug. I mean, I'm not saying he's entitled to a hug, but I'm saying that is a sign that this is just absolutely over. I don't even know if they'll be friends after this. Like, literally, this dude is just striking out, and every single action of his has caused this. He tries to muster up a smile, but you could tell he just wants to cry in this very moment. I don't know if there's going to be tears later on in this episode. I think we're nearing the end of the episode anyways, but this is just ridiculous. Ed, you struck out for a third time, dude. You are just not destined for love, my guy. I'm sorry. So Ed spends the rest of the episode complaining and pouring up another bottle, even though the restaurant's apparently closed. We got some sad violin music that I can't play thanks to, YouTube's great system of just hating on me when there's ever any amount of background noise or music on this show. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave today's episode. Kind of open-ended, but we're leading into the finale episode. The final reaction of this saga, I believe, is going to be the next piece. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I know you guys have been super patient on this. I'm going through at my own pace, so I just, find that enjoyable. And right now, I love leaving on this cliffhanger because we don't really know where things are going to go. I saw the preview for next week, and let's just say it doesn't look good. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this train wreck of an episode. Finally, we got back to some classic Big Ed cringe. I kind of feel bad because, you know, I was rooting for him up until this point, but I do kind of have that sick side of me that enjoys this, and it just enjoys seeing every single attempt at him finding love just strike out. I don't know what it is, but it's so entertaining. And again, he chose to be on this show, so that leaves him open to criticisms and reactions like mine. So as always, I appreciate you guys watching until the very end of the video, and until next time, peace out.